Right now, something terrifying is happening inside the most secure vaults on the planet, and nobody's talking about it on the news. The world's biggest central banks are panic buying gold at a rate we have not seen in almost 100 years. We are talking about thousands of tons of pure gold being moved into underground bunkers in China and Russia and India. These guys are the smartest financial minds on earth, and they are acting like the world is about to end. They know something that you do not. They are literally dumping their US dollars and stacking gold bars to the ceiling because they see a total collapse of the paper money system coming in 2026. If the people who print the money are running away from it, what does that tell you? They are preparing for a global reset where the dollar is worthless and only gold can buy you safety. This is the ultimate red alert. And if you are still holding all your wealth in a bank account, you are walking into a trap. We are going inside the vaults to show you the secret move that is about to change the world forever. Hello friends, welcome to Geo Unseen YouTube channel. Today we break down why central banks are panic buying gold. Money is supposed to be a store of value, but in 2026 that value is disappearing like smoke. For decades the world trusted the US dollar because it was backed by the power of the American government. But today that trust is at an all-time low. The USA has trillions of dollars in debt and they keep printing more to pay for it. The central banks of the world are looking at this and they are realizing that the dollar is just a piece of paper with green ink. It has no real value. This is why they are rushing to gold. Gold is the only thing that has been money for 5,000 years. It cannot be printed and it cannot be deleted by a computer hacker. It is the ultimate insurance policy against a dying system. In early 2026, we saw a massive move from the Central Bank of China. They have been buying gold for over 20 months in a row without stopping. They are trying to make their currency, the yuan, backed by something real so they can challenge the dollar. But they are not alone. India and Turkey and even countries in Europe are joining the scramble. They are taking their physical gold back from vaults in New York and London and bringing it home. They do not want their gold sitting in someone else's basement when the crisis hits. This is a massive sign of zero trust. When nations start hoarding physical gold, it means they are preparing for a war or a total economic meltdown. The price of gold has already smashed through all-time highs in 2026 and it is not stopping. This is because the supply is limited but the demand from governments is infinite. They are worried about the weaponization of the dollar. After seeing what happened to Russia's bank accounts, every nation is terrified that their money could be frozen next. Gold is the only asset that has no counterparty risk. That means you do not have to rely on a bank or a government to honor it. If you have the gold in your vault, you own the power. It is the ultimate middle finger to the Western financial system. Quick question for the crew. If the global economy crashes tomorrow, would you rather have a suitcase full of dollars or a single bar of solid gold? Let me know your choice in the comments, because the big banks have already made theirs. So why is this happening right now in 2026? To understand the panic, we have to look at the numbers because they are absolutely insane. Just a few days ago, in early February 2026, the price of gold smashed past $5,000 per ounce. Let that sink in for a second. In just 1 year, gold has jumped by over 70%. This is not normal. This is the market screaming that something is broken. While regular people are looking at the stock market, the big central banks are looking at the exit door. They are buying gold because they realize that paper money is becoming a game of musical chairs and the music is about to stop. In 2025, central banks bought over 800 tons of gold. That is almost 30% of everything that was pulled out of the ground. And in 2026, they are projected to buy even more. We are talking about a massive structural shift. For the last 50 years, the world lived on the petrodollar system. But that system is dying. Countries like Poland and Turkey and even the Czech Republic are rushing to increase their gold reserves. Poland alone has been buying hundreds of tons because they want gold to make up 30% of their entire wealth. They are not doing this for fun. They are doing this because they share a border with a war zone and they know that in a real crisis, a bank account is just a screen, but gold is power. Then you have the big hitters like China. For over 20 months, the People's Bank of China has been stacking gold without a single break. They are officially holding over 2,300 tons, but most experts think the real number is much higher. China is playing the long game. They want to decouple from the US dollar so they can do whatever they want without fear of sanctions. They are watching the USA run a record high debt and they are thinking, why should we hold their paper? By switching to gold, they are building a financial fortress that no one can touch. It is like they are preparing for a storm and they are the only ones with a real roof over their heads. Even the IMF and the World Gold Council are admitting that this is a new era. We have reached a point where gold has overtaken US treasuries as the largest reserve asset for many countries. This has not happened in our lifetime. It means the world is literally voting against the dollar with their wallets. They are choosing a yellow metal that does not pay interest over a US government bond that does. Why? Because they are more worried about the return of their money than the return on their money. They are seeing rising global debt and they are terrified that the only way for countries to pay it back is to print more money until the money is worth nothing. Quick question for you guys. If you saw the price of your local currency falling every single day, would you trust your government to fix it, or would you take your cash and buy something physical like gold? Drop a comment below because this is the exact choice that world leaders are making right now. The real secret is that gold is becoming the only neutral asset left. In a world where the USA and China and Russia are all fighting for power, no one wants to hold the other person's currency. If you hold dollars, you are Team USA. If you hold yuan, you are Team China. But if you hold gold, you are on your own team. It is the only asset that does not have a flag on it. That is why everyone from small countries to massive empires is fighting to get their hands on as much as possible. They are preparing for a multipolar world where there is no single boss. In that world, the person with the most gold makes the rules. As we move further into 2026, analysts from JP Morgan and UBS are saying gold could hit over $6,000 by the end of the year. The momentum is unstoppable because the demand is not coming from people like you and me. It is coming from the people who run the world. They are the ones with the inside information and they are the ones moving the trucks of gold at midnight. The vault doors are closing and the smart money is already inside. As we move deeper into February 2026, the situation is getting even more intense. We just saw some massive data coming in from the World Gold Council and major banks like JP Morgan. They are now officially predicting that gold will hit $6,300 per ounce by the end of this year. Think about that for a second. We started the year around $4,500 and now it is smashing through $5,000 like it is nothing. This is not just a rally, it is a full-blown flight to safety. The central banks are not just buying because they like gold. They are buying because they are terrified of the alternative. In early 2026, the International Monetary Fund pointed out a scary trend. Global debt levels have reached a point where they are basically unsustainable. The only way for governments to pay it back is to print more money, which makes your cash worth less every single day. This is why 95% of central bankers surveyed recently said they expect to increase their gold holdings even more this year. But here is the real kicker that most people are missing. On the 2nd of February 2026, the gold market saw a meltdown where prices briefly tumbled before rebounding even higher. This was a classic shakeout. The big institutional players and central banks use these price drops to buy even more at a discount, while the weak hands, the regular investors, get scared and sell. It is a calculated move to move the world's wealth from your pocket into their vaults. While the news tells you that gold is volatile, the banks are quietly loading up another 755 tons for their reserves. They want the physical metal, and they want it now. If you want to stay ahead of these massive global shifts and protect your future, make sure you hit that like button. It helps us keep bringing you these deep dives into the hidden world of global finance. We are living through history right now, and we are here to make sure you do not get left behind. For more mind-blowing breakdowns of what is really happening inside the world's walls, subscribe Geo Unseen YouTube channel. We have got a lot more coming your way, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching and for being part of the Geo Unseen crew. Catch you in the next one. Peace out from Geo Unseen.